Only one fight for Fury, which is AJ, and I don't think it's time to go on about it tonight. He's going to be hurting from that defeat, and he's a great fighter, but for me, it's the only fight to make.
Eddie Hearn insists that despite Tyson Fury's loss to Alexander Usyk, a blockbuster showdown with Anthony Joshua remains the fight that could electrify British boxing in 2025.
You know, I look at the reaction, and most people have... excuse me, guys. Most people have Usyk winning the fight, I guess.
The AI judge had it 118, 110.
Get rid of the AI judge. The AI judge don't work.
Hearn remains steadfast in his belief that the eagerly anticipated fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua should still take place, despite Fury's recent loss to Alexander Usyk. Hearn has long been advocating for a showdown between the two British heavyweights, and even after Fury's unanimous decision defeat in Riyadh, he still sees the fight as a major draw for boxing fans. In Hearn's eyes, Fury is far from being past his prime. He firmly believes that the British star can bounce back from this setback, and that a clash with Joshua is not only still possible, but remains one of the biggest events in British boxing history.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's time to start screaming, you know, that this night's Usyk Fury, but the reality is there's only one fight for Tyson Fury, and that's Anthony Joshua.
Despite the disappointment surrounding Fury's loss, Hearn believes the British public and boxing fans worldwide would still be captivated by the rivalry between these two giants. The fight would bring the sport to new heights, especially in the UK, where both men have large followings. For Hearn, this is a fight that could electrify the boxing world. He's not looking to merely put on one event between Fury and Joshua. He wants two epic bouts, one in London's iconic Wembley Stadium and the other in Saudi Arabia, as part of the highly anticipated Riyadh season.
He didn't look gun-shy, he didn't look like his punch resistance was in question like we talked about earlier. So I think Tyson Fury's still, you know, potentially at the peak of his powers, just not good enough to beat Alexander Usyk tonight. But for me, look, you know, AJ against Fury is the one.
Saudi Arabia has already shown a growing interest in hosting major boxing events, and Hearn plans to speak with the Saudi boxing chief, Turki Al-Sheikh, to make this vision a reality. Hearn envisions the two massive events being the crown jewel of boxing in 2025. For Hearn, this isn't just about putting together a high-profile event, it's about reigniting the fierce rivalry that has gripped British boxing fans for years.
The one at Wembley, and then it's back out here for Riyadh season. I'm going to be pushing His Excellency to make the fight, but that's maybe one for another day. Tonight belongs to Alexander Usyk.
The aftermath of the Fury-Usyk fight also saw comments from Turki Al-Sheikh, who suggested that Fury's career isn't over despite his loss. He even expressed a strong desire to see Fury face off against Anthony Joshua next. For Al-Sheikh, the world of boxing has no limits during the Riyadh season, and he is keen to see the fans enjoy some thrilling fights, regardless of who wins or loses. He also made clear his opinion that Usyk had won the fight by a clear margin of 4 rounds, but his focus remained on making the fight between Fury and Joshua a reality.
And I want to see Tyson maybe with Joshua or something. We will decide.
I was going to say, just very quickly, I just spoke to Eddie Hearn. We know that we've all, as British boxing fans, we've been desperate to see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury.
Let's see what can happen.
Do you think it's realistic?
Everything in Riyadh is realistic.
Absolutely.
Al-Sheikh's enthusiasm about a potential Fury-Joshua showdown adds weight to Hearn's push for the fight. But while many are still excited about the prospect of Fury and Joshua meeting in the ring, others, including boxing analyst Adam Smith, agree that it could happen in 2025, likely at Wembley Stadium and in Riyadh.
Everybody wants to see it. Yes, it's a little bit too late, but we got Mayweather-Pacquiao in the end. We got Brook in the end. And I think these two still, I thought the evidence of Tyson Fury on Saturday night, one or two people I read said, oh, he's gone, he's finished. He's not at all. I was worried about his legs. I think I told Ali that as well. I was worried about his legs on Saturday night. He proved that his legs are still great. He had a phenomenal training camp. He's still got plenty more to offer, in my opinion. So has Anthony Joshua, who's still fairly young. Okay, he's coming off a bad defeat.
Steve Bunce suggests that while Fury versus Joshua is a massive fight, a potential trilogy between Fury and Deontay Wilder could still capture a huge amount of attention. Bunce points out that while both Fury and Joshua have faced setbacks, a third encounter between Fury and Wilder would still generate a lot of interest. The history of close, sometimes controversial fights between them could add layers of intrigue. However, the primary focus remains on Fury versus Joshua, which Bunce agrees is a major spectacle in itself.
I can think of a bigger fight. We come back here for the third fight. I know that it's 2-0, but it's been so tight and so controversial, the two. We know there's a trilogy on the table. I think they have a third fight. I really do. And that's still a massive fight.
Before AJ?
Oh, before AJ.
I think AJ will be bigger than the third fight.
I know, it probably will, but you know what? If they have a third fight, he's not going to get knocked out. If he loses again, the AJ fight's still there. I believe that Fury's right when he says the AJ fight is going to be there. No matter when it happens, it's going to be there.
Jim White offers a more cautious take, acknowledging that the hype surrounding a Fury-Joshua fight may not be as strong as it once was, given both fighters' recent losses. He believes much depends on Fury's future desires. If he still has the hunger to fight, the battle with Joshua could still happen, but whether it can recapture the same level of excitement is uncertain. White points out that the stakes, whether in terms of titles or personal rivalry, may no longer be as high.
AJ, look at the way AJ lost last time round. Fury now with 2 defeats, is there still the hunger for that? They may say they want it over here, but is it really going to have the cachet that it once did?
I don't think I don't think it will have the appeal that it once did, but trust me, there's still a huge market for that fight. I think that people have always wanted to see that fight. Yes, they're both coming off losses to this great man now, but you got to accept, we got to accept greatness sometimes.
Simon Jordan holds a different perspective, stating that the importance of a Fury-Joshua clash has diminished considerably after both fighters lost to Usyk. He feels that Fury in particular missed an opportunity to prepare properly for Usyk, choosing instead to fight lesser opponents like Derek Chisora. Jordan argues that the fight now is more about the financial rewards rather than the competitive aspect, and he believes the excitement has waned.
I can see that Frank and Eddie will make a pile out of it, so it'll happen. Turki Al-Sheikh will probably want to make it happen because it gives everybody something to look at. But as far as a fight's concerned, what is it for?
Fury himself remains unsure of his next move. After his loss to Usyk, he stated that he was heading home to enjoy a well-deserved break with his family. Fury has expressed that while he was confident about his performance, believing he won the fight, he would take time off to reflect and regroup. Despite the defeat, Fury seems unwilling to admit that his career is over and continues to stand by his belief that he was the better fighter in the ring.
Yeah, I was quite confident. I thought I won that fight again. I think I've got Larry Holmes here. I thought I've won both fights. But then again, I've gone home with 2 losses on my record now, so there's not much I can do about it. I can just fight my heart out and do the best I can. But again, I'll always believe until the day I die, I won that fight.
However, Fury acknowledges that in boxing, without a knockout, decisions often don't go in the favor of the fighter who is seen as less aggressive, even if the fight is competitive. In his typical humorous fashion, Fury even suggested that Usyk's victory was a gift from the judges, attributing it to the Christmas spirit. His comments were, of course, delivered with a hint of sarcasm, but the underlying frustration was clear. Despite his belief that he had won, Fury understands that he is now left with 2 losses on his record, and he must look ahead to his future.
It is what it is. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. It's happened now. I know boxing, been in it all my life. You can't change no decisions. But I'll just always feel a little bit hard done by. Not a little bit, actually a lot. But I think when you don't get the knockout, this is what happens. You can't guarantee a win.
Question from Ukrainian journalists. A lot of people say that Usyk wins thanks to his spirit. Did you feel it?
I didn't feel no spirit. I felt a little bit of Christmas spirit in there, and I think he got a little Christmas gift from them judges. Christmas gift early.
On the other hand, Usyk has a different perspective on the fight. While he respects Fury as a fighter, he quickly brushed off any suggestion that the decision was unfair. In response to Fury's comments about receiving a Christmas gift from the judges, Usyk firmly stated that if the victory was indeed a gift, he would thank God, not Fury. Usyk took the opportunity to mock Frank Warren's claim that Usyk didn't deserve the scorecards, even suggesting that Warren might be blind in his assessment of the fight. However, Usyk's comments were more focused on the reality that the victory was his, and he wasn't looking to get bogged down by the controversy. For Usyk, the win was already in the past, and he was ready to move on.
Uncle Frank, I think, blind. If Tyson say it's Christmas gift, okay, thank you God, not Tyson. Thank you God. Thank you my coach Yuri. Thank you my coach Kuba. Thank you my team. Listen, Frank crazy man, you know? I think. That's my opinion. Okay, no problem. I win.
After Tyson Fury's loss to Oleksandr Usyk, Several analysts and former fighters provided their views on the bout, with many opinions differing on the overall performance. Some felt that Fury had not been decisively outclassed by Usyk, arguing that the fight was much closer than the scorecards indicated. However, others were more emphatic, believing that Usyk had secured a clear victory. Frank Warren, Fury's promoter, was one of the most vocal critics of the judging. He took issue with the fact that one judge gave Usyk all of the last 7 rounds, while the other 2 judges awarded Fury only a single round in the final stretch. Warren firmly believed that this scoring was unjust and failed to reflect the actual action in the ring.
Crying judges?
Sorry?
You crying judges?
Well, they might as well have been. Yeah. Whatever they were, honestly, I'm dumbfounded at how that scoring can be. It's dreadful.
Warren's comments, while seen as biased due to his close ties with Fury, resonated with many supporters of the British fighter, who felt that the fight had been much closer than the final decision suggested. Some neutral observers, including boxing figures such as Oscar De La Hoya, supported Usyk's victory, but Warren remained steadfast in his belief that Fury had done enough to secure at least a few rounds in the final stretch.
I thought he won it by a couple of rounds. I was sitting next to by 3 rounds. I was sitting next to a couple of seats away from Oscar De La Hoya, who's a neutral. He had Tyson winning. There was a couple of other good judges there, people who all along that front row. Most of them thought Tyson won the fight, and Alex and Aegis sitting there, they weren't confident, I'll tell you that.
Fury's trainer, Ben Davison, echoed similar sentiments, describing the fight as a difficult one to call due to both fighters having their moments throughout the bout. He acknowledged that Fury had made some good adjustments, but he also noted that the outcome was not easy to judge. Davison hinted at discussions surrounding Fury's next steps, particularly a potential fight with Anthony Joshua, but did not go into detail, suggesting that the fight was an important one for Fury's future.
Yeah, I thought it was very tight. Like, a few people around me, being honest, had Usyk up. I didn't score it round by round, but I had the feeling that Tyson was going to get it. I can't sit here and go, this is the score I had because I didn't score round by round, you know. But it was a tight fight, really tight fight. But I thought Tyson boxed well. I thought he made some really good adjustments. But, congratulations to Usyk.
What would you like to see Tyson Fury do next? Obviously, there's still that fight with Anthony Joshua. I suppose that puts makes it obviously another thing for you.
It's not really a good time for me to talk about that sort of thing. So.
Naseem Hamed also voiced his opinions on the decision. Hamed believed the result should have been a draw, which could have set up a trilogy between Fury and Usyk that many fans would be eager to see. He praised Usyk's skill, but felt that Fury had performed better than expected and deserved some credit for his efforts.
I'd give it the way they give it Usyk. I just thought he did really, really well. Tyson, he did way better than the first time, so that deserved to be a 1-1, and we should have a trilogy on our hands. So I'm a bit upset for Tyson. I'm a bit upset, obviously, for all of his fans, his family, and I just wish he'd won that fight because we needed that fight. He needed to cement his legacy, and I thought that he did. To be honest, I think a lot of people saw it different, but I know one thing. I know that he was working really, really hard, Usyk, to create as much as he could with working with his hand speed and the shots that he got in. I don't know what the punch count was for how many times he connected, but it might have possibly been more than Tyson's. But you know what? There's no way it was the way they said it was. That's all I know.
Lennox Lewis believed Fury had missed an opportunity. He felt that Fury, with his size and reach advantage, should have been more aggressive in the later rounds, especially given that Usyk had already defeated him once before. Lewis felt that Fury could have imposed himself more on Usyk in the later stages, but his failure to do so may have cost him the fight.
I think I like the first fight better. This was a good fight as well, very close. You know, when it comes to heavyweight boxing, and somebody's beat you the first time, you gotta go after him the second time. I felt Tyson Fury should have went after him a little bit more, and it would have been a different outcome.
I thought in the 10th round he was holding and mugging him, getting good work inside. I thought that's what the whole fight would look like. Are you surprised by the game plan of Fury?
No, I'm not surprised. You know, whatever their game plan was, mine would have been different. But whatever their game plan was, it didn't work. I felt that he needed to do a lot more work. You know, go after him a bit more, press forward a little bit more. But, you know, it was overall a great fight.
Lawrence Okolie shared a slightly different perspective. He pointed out that Fury had controlled the early rounds with his size and body shots, but noted that Usyk's superior conditioning allowed him to take over in the later rounds. Okolie believed that Usyk's stamina gave him the edge as the fight progressed, and that ultimately it was the Ukrainian's fitness that won him the fight.
Did you think that the weight had any factor? What did you think of Tyson coming in heavier?
I think it did have a factor. It depends in different parts. So he was able to, in parts, get hold of Usyk lean on him, put a little bit of good work in the body shots and stuff. But then I do think that down the straight, because Usyk was able to weather that, the conditioning did play a factor in the last few rounds where he was able to just throw 3-4 punches more in exchanges, and I think that's what edged it out for him.
Oscar De La Hoya felt that Usyk had seized control in the second half of the fight. De La Hoya criticized Fury for failing to use his jab effectively and not managing his distance well, which he felt played a significant role in the fight's outcome. He pointed out that Fury did not appear to have made any noticeable improvements since their first fight and seemed to tire as the rounds went on. From De La Hoya's perspective, Usyk's tactical execution and skillful boxing led to a well-deserved win.
How did you score the fight? We've just seen Alexander Usyk got a unanimous decision by 2 rounds.
I think Usyk pulled it off in the second half of the fight. Usyk comes out strong in the second half of the fight. I didn't see Tyson use many jabs. I didn't see Tyson use his distance, and therefore we saw the outcome. And you know, Usyk deserves it.
Did you see any improvements in Tyson from the first fight? Any adjustments?
I don't think I did. I saw Tyson tired.
Sonny Edwards noted that while the first few rounds had been competitive and Fury had his moments in the middle rounds, Usyk clearly took control in the final 6. Edwards remarked that the fight was not as thrilling as their first encounter, with both fighters being cautious and respecting each other's strengths. He also acknowledged that while Fury had attempted to counter Usyk's work, it was Usyk's overall quality that shone through, particularly as the rounds progressed.
Yeah, I did. I think the first rounds were close. Tyson had a few of the middle rounds, but I think the back stretch, last 6, I think Usyk pretty much had all of them, to be honest. Thought it was not as great of a fight as the first time, but you could see that both men really respected each other. They were both trying not to give too much away, and when they started letting the hands go, then the fireworks came, but then it was a bit too late. Like it weren't the most classic spectacle, but Usyk did what he needed to win, and I think Fury tactically was a lot better.
Dave Allen, although admitting that he had not watched all 12 rounds, still felt that the decision was likely correct based on what he had seen. However, he was not entirely certain and suggested that a third fight could still be of interest, even if the public demand for it might be in question.
Well, I didn't watch it all. I didn't watch the full 12 rounds. So it probably would be unfair for me to give you know, a proper breakdown of it. What I saw, I thought the decision was probably right, but I didn't watch the full thing properly, so I don't know. I'd like to see the third fight.
You'd like to see the trilogy?
I don't want to see him box anybody else. I don't want to see either man get beat by anybody else.
Do you think the demand's there, really?
I don't know. I do not want to see Usyk get beat by anybody.
Spencer Fearon suggested that if the scoring had not been so wide, the result might not have felt as controversial. He felt that Usyk had remained calm and composed throughout the fight, even when Fury landed some solid punches, and this allowed him to maintain control of the fight's tempo.
Let's call it as it is. You know what I mean? I think if the scoring wasn't so wide, then we wouldn't be screaming robbery, right? I'm just going to be totally honest. There was an argument to say I saw this fight 115, 113 to either man, right? But the one that was more domineering and was more poker face when they were under attack was Alexander Usyk. And that could leave the impression on the judges, right? But the thing what impregnated the judges' mindset more than anything is like, even when Usyk was losing a round, he'd try to stick it on you in the last bits, and then he'll come big in the next round. And that's, to me, what made the difference. Like, there was certain times when, with Tyson Fury, there were sustained attacks, but they wasn't regular enough. When Usyk did the sustained attack, you knew, you know what's going on here? And you can also hear the thudding of the punches from Usyk. So You know what I mean? Tyson Fury's got every right to believe that he won that fight.
Teddy Atlas offered a more balanced perspective. While he acknowledged that Fury had followed a better game plan than in their first encounter, he ultimately credited Usyk for finding a way to win. Atlas pointed out that Fury had done a good job of keeping Usyk at bay and using his reach advantage, but it was Usyk's resilience and ability to capitalize on opportunities that made the difference.
Usyk knows how to win. He'll find a way to win. He'll find a way to win. And I thought Tyson would be better, and he was better. He was better. Give him credit for that, because he kind of fought the game plan that I kind of suggested that he should. Instead of just moving around the ring and letting Usyk boil him down with the pressure like he did the first time, he set himself. He used the wingspan. He set himself where he made Usyk earn his way in. He wasn't getting pushed all over the ring, and that's what wears you down. And Fury, to his credit, he did a much better job. But Usyk does what he does.
Michael Buffer also felt that the fight was closer than the scorecard suggested, with the result being capable of going either way. He praised Fury's size and reach, but also acknowledged Usyk's relentless energy, describing him as a machine who never seemed to tire.
I thought it was a closer fight. I mean, it might even have gone either way. You know, he used his size and reach and everything. Usyk is like a machine, though. He's just got a big battery that never stops.
Ultimately, the outcome of the Fury-Usyk rematch has sparked intense debate among analysts, trainers, and fighters. While some believed that Fury had done enough to win, others felt Usyk had earned a clear victory. The road to a Fury-Joshua bout may still be a long one, but the rivalry between the two remains as strong as ever, and it seems that no matter the outcome of their respective careers, fans will continue to clamor for this fight to happen. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.